Do, 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 do. I don't know if there's theme music or not, but what is up, everyone? It is Santi, and I am here to cover episode 3. It's a double of Stranded, and I am joined tonight with the lovely Will. Hello, Will. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm
I'm good.
excited to jump into this episode.
Girl, we talked about this beforehand. I have some thoughts. I have comments. But first, before we get started, I want to do something really sweet and just wish someone a happy birthday. Um, so, graphic design is my passion.
Oh,
So, just want to wish Andrew Marcus a happy birthday. Also, Coach Drew, who can't join us today, but I didn't have time to cook that up for him. So, happy birthday, Andrew.
yes.
I hope you have a great birthday and you're laughing when you watch this back.
Not Andrew squared.
Yep. It was funny. So we played Brooklyn's Out together, and we discovered that Cameron and I have the same birthday, and then Coach and Andrew have the same birthday. And I was like, "What's the likelihood of 4 people playing the same game together, sharing multiple birthdays?"
Right.
Okay, so it looks like somebody's backstage finally, so we can get started.
Yeah.
Hello, John. How are you?
Howdy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So before we get
Look
started,
at John with the short hair. Oh my gosh, the transformation.
It's coming back. It's coming back slowly.
It looks good.
Thank you.
And it's nice
See,
to
Santi, you don't know this, but every summer John does this. He grows it out and then it like chops it. And then like so people that don't know John, they're like, oh my God. And then those of us that know him are like, oh, it's that time. Okay.
It's like a 2-year cycle, give or take.
Yeah.
I have those moments too. Like every 2 years, I'll have my midlife crisis and just bleach my entire head.
I haven't done that one yet.
Why not? Why not? Well, all right, y'all. Let's get started with this episode. It's a double. A lot to talk about. So we have the first challenge. It's the flip the disc over and have more of your color than your opponent. We start off with who is it? It's Steven versus Alex. Steven wins, right? No,
Alex wins.
and he picks Gibble versus John. And they decide we're going to do rock, paper, scissors. Will, as a host, how did you feel about this? Because I have thoughts.
Yeah. So what I thought was so interesting about it was, and then kind of how we put the tribes together. Once we put the tribes together, we realized there was definitely a chaos tribe and a chill tribe, and we really liked that storyline. And that literally came out during the challenge, in that Purple was like, "Oh, I'm not fucking running for nothing. We're gonna rock paper scissors this." And then you see Green, they were like, "We're gonna run the challenge," and they're like, "Yeah, let's fucking run it." And they're gonna run in the field, which is it literally is. You can't write it even better. Like that's literally both tribes, where one tribe's going to be like the purist, the chill tribe, let's play Survivor, and then the one's going to like, let's try to find a loophole. And honestly, like we expected maybe one or two, like maybe not try as hard rounds, but we didn't expect a vast majority of the rounds to be rock paper scissors.
Oh, so here's my issue. Later on in the episode, John's like, I want to get rid of Gibble, but I can't. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You had the opportunity right there to take Gibble out of the challenge, and you said, I'm going to do rock, paper, scissors. Like, that makes...
And I think John would have smoked. I think John V would have smoked him.
John V would have won immunity for his tribe. How you done that?
He would have won individual immunity.
Yeah, individual immunity. And then they would have been able to go to the first tribal council. Yeah, right? It was flipped.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I don't know. I'm hoping they're in the comments because, like, John, take us through your tribe strategy. What were you guys thinking?
I can speak for myself personally. I just had a lot of pent up energy, so I was just excited to run the challenge. I hadn't really done a whole lot since the first challenge that day. And I don't know, I usually like to move a lot. So all the sitting around was getting to me. So I was just excited to run. I think at the end of the day, though, our whole strategy was just, let's just make sure that we collectively win. Like, we know that we're going to tribal regardless. Let's just make sure that we can be the second tribe and put ourselves in that position. But yeah, personally, I was just excited to expel a little bit of energy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get that completely. So then we get to Brooke putting the two tribes against each other. And I guess Gibble, because we really don't see it, but Gibble has some feelings about this.
Yes.
I personally get the strategy. Like, at the end of the day, only one person from our tribe can win, and we need to beat them so we can go to the first tribal, or so we can watch their tribal council. So her strategy made sense, but like, I didn't get, or what do you guys think about like Gibble getting upset by that move, so to speak?
I mean, I see both sides of it. How Brooke was looking at it of like, listen, Alex is tired. No one wants to go against him because we're probably going to lose. Alex isn't going to do rock, paper, scissors. And I don't want to go against him. So I'd rather, you know, have him go against one of ours and we can just like knock him out. I do think though that she should have just picked another green. Like if he's tired and you want someone to knock him out, let another green knock him out. But I think also in the moment, like, they were not expecting, and then maybe John can, like, they were not expecting the double. Like, if anything, they were like, oh, it's just a challenge. And when I was like, it's a double, like, you kind of caught it on camera, but everyone was like, oh, like, round 3, we're doing a double, no one saw it. So I think everyone was kind of thrown a little bit. And obviously there wasn't any time to strategize because it was like, okay, boom, let's pick the rocks first 2, let's go. And then they were just like, all right, I guess we're going. So I think she might have.
Yeah, how much time then was from the last tribal council to this challenge? Like 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Probably around 30 minutes.
Yeah, I would say about 20 to 30 minutes or even less time sometimes between, like this one didn't take a huge amount of setup. So I would say 20 minutes between Daniel going home and then walking to tribal.
Okay,
to the challenge.
Yeah, so definitely not a lot of time to adjust to, oh, we're going to double tribal council.
Yeah, because they walked to the challenge field. I said it was a double. We started the challenge. So.
Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense on some strategies then.
Yeah, I'll say in the moment, I'm kind of glad I didn't have to pick because it wouldn't have even like, I probably would have picked 2 purples, but it didn't cross my mind to like think through it as deeply as Gibble was to the point where I would have even comprehended it. So I empathize with Brooke in that sense. I may have done the same thing.
Yeah. So then Gibble wins it, right, for his tribe. And who won?
Yeah, I want to share a little behind the scenes though.
I was going to ask you about this.
I was hoping this would come out.
Can I ask my question? And I think I know what you're going to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
So my question is, what did Gibble mean by, do you want to wrestle again?
Yeah. So, again, I believe in full transparency and things. So what happened in the final round between Troy and Gibble was production's biggest mistake. And what happened was they both, like the first round, which you didn't see, what you saw in the episode was their reset round. We said go. They both were going to play it. And they were kind of just standing there, like waiting for the minute to go out. We're going to flip it last minute. And then Gibble tackled Troy. And we were kind of shooketh. We kind of were like, oh, like we did not expect that to happen. And then in the tackling, they both touched the white tile, which then like technically DQ'd both of them. So we had to reset. However, the big production mistake there was it was a code of conduct violation, which was no physical altercations or anything like that. So in the end, as soon as Gibble had laid hands on Troy, he should have been DQ'd and Troy should have been given the immunity. But we were just kind of so thrown in the moment for it that we just, and so they reset and then they played it the correct way. But yeah, it was real. Watching the actual footage of them tackling, it just didn't feel right putting in the episode because it was so. I don't even know what the adjectives to use. John, help me out here. As a player, what was it like being on the sidelines and watching that?
Over the top. I'll say
Yeah.
because of the whole one world aspect of the season, we knew pretty early that Gibble was in trouble over there because there were just constant whisperings of that's the kind of player that Gibble was, and he was very loud and aggressive. And then that was the first time that I had that validated in front of me, getting to see him just go right for the tackle, which is, like you said, something that none of us expected. It kind of floored us. It was just something that I feel like I wouldn't be willing to take that risk of showing that I'm playing this hard and this aggressively because it's not going to rub the other people the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we took that on the chin. It's definitely the biggest production mistake of the season. Because obviously, like if we had called it the way it should have been, Troy would have won that immunity and then Gibble wouldn't, and he probably would have been voted out there. Which obviously changes things. So yeah, it wasn't a great moment, but I'm less glad that no one got hurt. And that's what I got to say about that.
So I have a few comments. If you play season 2, no physical contact.
Yes.
And Gil, you save that energy for elimination rounds and the caucus challenge. Not on Troy, because that's my friend. And he's fragile like me.
He took it well.
Yeah. Troy's a good sport. So we go to the summit, and John, I love your strategy. You were like, no matter
well,
what.
Go back. I wanted to ask, how did the summit get chosen this time? Because obviously the previous time, one's winning, one's losing, right? It's cute. But knowing that going into the summit, both people are going, because I don't think we got this on camera, unlike the other ones. How did you become the guy?
I volunteered. We had a quick 1-minute circle to discuss. Obviously, 2 people had already gone, so they were out of the picture. And I had already pre-decided that I felt like this was probably a good time for me to go. I didn't want to go to one of the final ones right before the merge if I was to make it that far. So I figured right in the middle was a safe spot to go. We had also already set that precedent that the people that were going weren't on the table at all. So I was hoping that would continue with me, which obviously, but I just felt like it was a comfortable time for me. So I was happy to volunteer. And I don't know whether or not John has the same story, John B.
Gotcha.
John B, if you're watching, please explain to us how that happened.
I think it was pretty much because everyone was so like not scared of the summit, but like everyone that came back had like different stories, and they were like no one really 100% knew what was going on, and so I think everyone like was afraid to like once someone said I'll go, everyone was like, oh, go ahead, yeah, that's fine, I'm not doing it, because no one knew what it was. Now you watch it, now everyone like hits themselves in the face like, oh my god, why was I so fucking scared of it?
That was part of it. I had the chance to at least have 2 people come back and kind of hear what they said, so I wanted to find out whether or not that was true a little bit, as well as at least I had a little bit of an understanding as what I was getting into.
Yeah. And I think you walked away from that summit probably the most better off knowledge-wise than any other player that's gone. Like you came back with an advantage and you got all of this information from John B.
Yeah, that floored me. I was not prepared for John to be that open. I understand now that he was really genuinely trying to open up a door for a future alliance down the line, which I think was a really smart play on his part, obviously. But yeah, I'm still kind of shocked that he was that open about where everything was, because I wasn't really sure that Steven had an extra vote, but that really validated it for me.
But I think also this was my favorite summit thus far of the game, because I feel like you two really used the summit, which is for what it was meant for. Was the summit was the only time in the entire game where 2 people could talk privately.
Yeah.
Without anyone looking and who's over there and who can see me. And the other ones were just like, the first one was like, Gibble and Amir, 2 girls on a Sunday stroll. And he was like, girl, give it to me. It's fine. He's like, all right, girl, thanks. And then the second one was just Steven's like, I want it. It's my birthday. And then Megan's like, okay, fine. And then you guys really sat down and it's like, no, like, let's actually talk it out. Let's exchange info where we don't have to worry about who's looking. And I think that you guys used the summit for what it was kind of intended to, which I appreciated.
And we tried to reach a compromise until you forced us not to. We were both willing to wipe our hands clean of it, shake hands, walk away. We keep our votes. No one gets anything. I guess you misunderstood the idea.
You thought it's like new era Survivor. Like, no, we're forcing people on the journey, baby. Like y'all thought like, oh yeah, we don't have to participate. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, y'all misunderstood. Someone has to take it. You don't get to choose no one getting it. No, but I appreciate but you guys really did do that gentleman's handshake of like, this is an advantage, but we're both willing to walk away from it, even though we know we're both going to tribal, which is ballsy, honestly.
John also was another player that through the one world aspect, his reputation was seeping through to our side, and I was getting little nuggets despite not knowing who he was going into the game that, oh, this is somebody who has played a lot, who knows what he's doing. So I didn't want to get on his bad side. So I was also very happy that he was willing to throw that olive branch my way. And I was stoked with how it played out.
Definitely. I think you walked away in a way better position. Well,
maybe not.
Now, question, John, because you said like you got some nuggets kind of coming your way. Was there like a specific person that was like feeding you info? Did you like try to like listen in on convos? Like, how did that work in the one world aspect?
Honestly, most of the purple knowledge kind of came through other people to me. I didn't actually speak to the purples directly very much at all very early on. I tried to keep my distance, honestly. So it was mostly a game of telephone. They told one of the people on my tribe, and then they passed it on to me. I feel like specifically the John B knowledge, I think Dave had some information on his past games. Somebody else I want to say also was telling me, maybe Amir. I don't want to say for sure.
Gotcha. So the next thing, so now you get the advantage. And did you lock in pretty quickly that, oh, I'm sharing it with the tribe, I'm gonna be the best team player that's ever lived, and everyone's gonna know everything, and we're playing New Era Survivor? Or did it take a minute to like get there?
I think I was gonna let whatever the advantage was dictate that. And I think that a steal vote is a good advantage, but it's not a great advantage. So that's the kind of thing where I'd rather just be upfront and honest about it. So that way, when it does eventually come out, I'm not blindsiding the people that I'm trying to make an alliance with. If it had been a different advantage, I may have been more secretive about it, but it kind of dictated the way I was going to play it. I mean, if it was a knowledge is power, like Nathan tried to fabricate or something like that, I would have been a bit more selective.
Gotcha.
Or
at what point did you realize that the vote was going towards you?
Pretty quickly. I don't remember who the first person to tell me was, but I think it may have been Dave. But I'll say this, I really truly felt so comfortable with what they were telling me. I really did just think that, hey, you were the guy that wasn't here. We had to give Dave a name. So sorry. And it made sense to me. I'll say like Nathan in particular, he made me feel so comfortable the whole time. He's such a good social player. He just, I don't know, he whispered sweet nothings in my ear and I believed every word that he said.
So did Matt. He did a full confessional about like, we can't vote the injured guy out first and then fucking voted him out.
Yeah, he's good.
Love Nathan.
So
now, go ahead, Santi.
Well, I was just going to say, here are my feelings about voting you out. It makes 0 sense.
I agree.
Because math-wise, you're going to 12. So one of two things is going to happen next. You're going to swap, or there's possibly going to be a merge. Or Will could be crazy and make you guys stay a tribe still. But you want a player like you in the game who has power. You have steal a vote. It's not like you said, like a great advantage, but if you swap and you're at a numbers disadvantage, you have that extra power. So now in my head, I'm thinking they vote you out, and by the survivor gods, you get to stay and come back. Now I would just be wrecking shit.
Well, you're gonna have to find out about
I
that.
can't
No,
wait
no
till the next episode
comments.
comes out because I hope you burn that whole green cap down. Like it made like I know like how I've seen Nathan play before. I've seen Dave play before. I've seen Imir play before. Like they're gamers, and like it makes sense to keep a weapon, which you are at this point, than to get rid of you.
I think you can kind of see the wheels were turning in their heads at that point. But I think they were already too deep into the vote out, and none of them wanted to be the one to say it. At least that's my perspective after seeing the confessionals in the episode. I think there was one in particular that Andrew had where he kind of mentioned, like, oh, so John S. came back with this steal a vote, which does actually give me a good reason to keep him around. So I do think that they were all kind of thinking that, but no one wanted to shake the boat. And I do also think it was the fact that everyone did feel good with Dave and they didn't want to vote him out. So even if I was a bad decision, I think it was just let's stay kumbaya.
Yeah.
Which
But
is
it's
the message.
It's definitely a short. Yeah, it was a short-sighted decision because at that point, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, no one thought Ymir had anything. He played the not having a vote thing at the first tribal brilliantly. And then Megan came back and was like, yeah, Steven has it. So then they're like, so we, in their mind, know Purple has 2. And we're going to be cool with them having 2 and literally getting rid of something that we could use to help us. I think, but John, I think you're right. I think everyone was playing a little bit of a follower, not a leader. And no one wanted, like, you saw in the voting confessionals where Nathan was like, this is fucking stupid. But again, no one wanted to be like that. Okay, guys, let's change the vote to Dave. No one wanted to be that loud voice to do it. And we'll see how that
or another
affects
player, not
people.
necessarily Dave. There's
Right. I
other
don't know, because
people.
he was the decoy name. Yeah.
Yeah, like at this point, you take out like a Nathan or maybe an Ymir, or even Alex seems like a good option as to like not to disrupt the tribe dynamics too much. You don't take out a weapon. This is my opinion. And you, from what I can see, John, you seem like a very tribe strong, loyal player. Like you were gonna, in my view of the game, you were gonna stick to your tribe throughout the entire game and not flip on anybody. That's how I saw it.
You'll have to find out.
Can't wait to see.
But up to that point, was he that player? Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I hope you burn it all down.
Well, you
okay.
know, there are a few ways to approach it because there's the burn it all down way, and then there's the what if I burn it all down and then I'm stuck with just these people. So there's more than one way to approach it.
Yeah,
So Santi, how would you approach it? You would just gone back and
get down, but girl, I'd be going back to tribal, cussing them all out, walking over to Purple, giving them every single piece of information that we have, and just be like,
I'll say this, you'll find out next episode. I thought for sure, at least at this moment in my head, I say swap's coming. That's where I'm sitting right now in this game, right after I get brought back in. So I'm also kind of praying for it at that point. Give me some new people to play with. Give me some inroads.
Santi, I'm interested to know or hear your thoughts on, now that we have seen the bottle twist, we now know what it is. What are your thoughts on it?
Like as far as a game mechanic?
Yeah, your thoughts on game mechanic, how it works.
I like its chocolate. I mean, that's what I keep thinking. Every time they put a bottle up, it's RuPaul's Drag Race reference, John, if you don't get it. I figured. No, I like it. And that's another thing of like, why vote out somebody with a weapon who has the potential to stay? Like it makes like the way I would approach the game is like when I'm voting somebody out, I need to ensure that if they by chance do stay, we're still good. And I don't think that everybody within the game is thinking that way. So I like the message in a bottle.
So now, John, as the players, you know, is that did everyone kind of like agree on that's what they thought like the bottle would be? Like what were the theories out there that you guys had chatted about?
I think that was the consensus. I want to say in episode 2, Steven flat out said that that's what he thought it was. Maybe it was Gibble, someone from the other tribe. But until we saw something, anything besides, sorry, there's nothing in this, there was no way to know. So there was the fun variable aspect of, sure, we think we know what it is, but you guys had already thrown one twist at us with the double tribal that early on. Another twist with the one world. We were ready for anything.
Gotcha. So do we want to talk about our pawpaw peeps?
Yeah. So they're scrambling, and it comes down to Troy or Bennett. And some people, I think, are having buyer's remorse. I think Will froze. Oh, there you go. He's back. I think some people are now having buyer's remorse because they can't vote out Gibble. And it's just, I don't know. It's very unfortunate because you have players like Troy and John V and Steven who are very visually big players that are probably working together. Then you have kind of Gibble, who's this chaotic person. And then you have Bex, Brooke, and Bennett, who are kind of newer players. It would make sense to me to vote out one of the three. And I just don't know how come, I mean, testament to John, Troy, and Steven for.
Well, I think it really came down to Gibble and how he presents things. I do agree. I think the girls and Bennett with Gibble should have gotten rid of one of the big three because Gibble was like, here's everyone's resume. And they all knew it because he was very open with information that John V's played like 13 games and Troy's won a game and Steven's done this. The problem with that is he had played such a chaos game up to that point that I just don't think the other three like trusted him enough to be like, yes, let's make a strong four and get one of them out. And that's just how he plays, and that's okay. But it was at his detriment that he wanted to throw a big name out and he just couldn't get any traction because everyone's like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a classic case of someone in Survivor has pretty much all the right reads. They're just not able to get the people around them on board to follow for whatever reason.
I mean, to make an analogy for this shit ass season of Survivor, I don't know. I shouldn't say shit because I don't know the winner yet. But like, it's like David. Like David clocked the Kyla and Camilla T from Jump, but the way he presented the information, the way he acted, he couldn't get the numbers because they're like, this guy's nuts. Because it's just the way he presented it. Very similar to Gibble, just how he presented the information. It just didn't come off being like, yes, this is the guy I want to work with.
Yeah, that makes sense. But then it becomes poor Bennett. I didn't like that.
He was in such a good position up to this point, too.
Yeah. And it's just...
He had the same situation of people walking up saying, this is such a bad move. I think it was Bex. I don't want to do this. This is a dumb decision. A lot of the same mentality from some of his tribe mates not wanting to vote for him.
I've been in a game where me and a group of people vote somebody out and we're all like, this is a dumb decision. And then we look back at it, we're like, there was 3 of us saying it was a dumb decision. And the 3 of us could have flipped it to somebody else. And we individually decided not to do that.
Yeah, I think
X did not want to vote Bennett out.
I think also it's very similar to what happened in Green. Like, you know, everyone was playing a little bit more of a follower game. No one wanted to be that leader and be like, all right, fuck it, we're voting John V. Like, and that's okay because I feel like this episode, like the first 2 episodes, it was very like kind of like obvious, right? We had like you know, unanimous votes, whatever. I feel like the key was in the ignition, and then this episode, and then what you see in the payoff in the coming episodes, this episode finally like turned the ignition on, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're fucking playing." Okay, like I can't sit back because walking out of this double, you got a good amount of people on purple, being like, how did I vote someone out of the game and I don't feel good about it? And I don't feel like it actually helped me get in a better position. And then you have Green coming back being like, oh, fuck, the guy's back. So everyone left that double being like, my game did not get better in this round. So now what do I need to do to change that? And you literally will see the flip happen in the coming episodes.
And I think you made the comment, John, of like how everybody's playing immensely hard, right off the bat, right? Did you make a comment about that?
I mean, we were definitely, but it was still, at least early on, these first couple votes, there was that delicate balance of like, we're all playing hard, but we don't want to show our cards yet. We don't want to go too hard yet. So it was a bit of a cat and mouse. And then I think kind of like what Will's saying, this double tribal was the catalyst that made everyone say, all right, it's time to double it up. Now let's really play harder. Some of our hands got forced more than the others, but everyone collectively got the message.
And I think what was really interesting about Purple's tribal, like Bennett was in a good position, but people saw that he was in a good position. And then like Bex and Brooke were kind of like this nucleus, and it was everyone wanted to go to the ball with the girls, protect the dolls. And everyone saw, wow, Bennett's really close to the girls. And there's that the conversation where Troy like somehow like gets his way in with the girls, and he goes, okay, well then if us three are working together, are we going to vote out Steven or John V? And then Brooke and Bex are like, wait, I don't want to vote out John V or Steven. And then it became that because now everyone's working together, well then someone has to get the short end of the stick. And Steven and John V, I guess, I think just, I don't want to say Bennett didn't put in work because he did, but just put in a half a step more work than he did. And I think that's all it took.
Yeah. And in these games, that's all it really takes. I was going to ask John, because I'm looking at my notes and I can't find it. You haven't played any games before, or what is your experience with live reality games?
I had played one game prior to this, but it was like a game where I knew pretty much everybody. So it was, I knew the host, my best friend and former roommate was on my tribe. So it was like a very comfortable environment. This was my first dive into not knowing anybody, playing with like real experienced veterans in the LRG community.
What was that experience like for you, and would you play again?
It was eye-opening. I was like, I was prepared, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't really. If you had asked me a year ago today, before I played the game, to name like one LRG that's not in New Jersey, I couldn't have. Like, I was really that fresh and uninformed about the community. So it was eye-opening. I felt like a little overwhelmed early on once I realized, like, oh crap, this guy John V's played like a dozen games, and here I am, this like noob. But yeah, I had the time of my life. I had so much fun. I hope to play again. We'll see whether or not that happens. May or may not have thrown an application or two out. So hopefully something good happens. But if I fail this time, I'll just try again.
Yeah, but I will say too, when John played his first game, because I met John because I was working prod on the game that he played, which was Survivor, which is like part music festival, part Survivor game. But John played season 1 where the game really wasn't that serious, to the point where like people would get an idol and be like, "Oh, an idol? What's that? That's neat." Like that's the kind of
Some
people
of us knew what idols were.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 of you. Okay. But the other people were like, wait, voting someone out? Oh, I can just vote the host out, right? We're like, no, you got to vote for someone on your tribe. Okay, I'll just vote for myself. No, you can't do that either. You have to vote for literally one of the other people on your tribe. And they go, oh, I don't know if I like that. And I'm like, you got to. Like, this is the kind of game that he was playing with.
We had so much fun.
I love it.
It's a good game, but it was just like different.
I've done bullshit games of Survivor like that with my friends of like, we're just going to be stupid and like play it up and like just have fun with it and call each other a bitch for no reason. So I completely get that, John. So that sounds like a lot of fun. I was watching their pictures on Instagram. I guess they're airing like a reunion or something from the previous season.
Yeah, the reunion from my season just aired 2.5
Today.
hours ago.
Oh,
Today.
Mind you, he played it 2 years ago.
Yes.
We
And then
filmed
there
that
have been
2 years ago.
2 seasons since that have filmed but have not aired, and I can tell you those are a lot more intense than the silliness and goofiness of my season.
I love camp, so hopefully they get back to that, or just
We'll see.
we'll see. Well, that's all the questions I have. Will, do you have any other questions? Any other
Yeah,
topics,
just
thoughts?
what is that feeling? Because we kind of caught it on camera, but not really. I know you were eyeing that very specific bottle, the one that you pulled. What was the feeling when you unroll it and it doesn't say this has no power?
I blacked out. I swear to God, I read through the paper what it said before I had a chance to process what the words were. I was like so in shock because I didn't expect it to happen. I had a second and a half to come to terms with the fact that I got blindsided by people that I really thought had my back. And then the immediate whiplash of, oh my God, wait, no, how am I still in the game? This makes no sense. I blacked out, but it was so much fun to watch it back. Yeah, I really needed like other people to read it for me.
Yeah. And now, Santi, where do you now, because obviously you don't know everything, where do you think the game is going now?
Well, I'm hoping for a swap.
Okay.
Up, but I'm also kind of hoping that they just merge and just like the one world continues where everybody's one group. Because I think that's where it's going to get really crazy and really tricky for everyone. Because I'm kind of looking at like the players on the board right now, and just the interconnection of relationships and then information. Like I just feel like if they merge, it's going to be chaos.
So then, if we're doing just a cute little, quick little power ranking, did anyone go up your list? Did anyone go down your list this episode?
I feel like Nathan went up on my list. Really, yeah, just him. And
the fact that Nathan was going to try to do a knowledge is power. I know John very, very well. I know John was never going to fall for it, but the fact that he was like thinking that way, I'm like, yo, that's insane.
His mind never stopped turning the whole time. It was
and
crazy.
Nathan's team fun feeds, like he's there to make good TV. So he'll just do crazy shit just to do crazy shit. So my power rankings, I would put Nathan at the top. Andrew's there. I feel like I hate to do this to my boy, but I feel like John goes down a little bit just with the diarrhea of information.
Wait, which John?
Oh, I thought you meant me.
John. I still think John S walked away from that.
I was just say I take it a very noticeable tumble.
Yeah, no, I think even with you coming back, now you have some kind of power within your tribe, because you have like Amir who threw his vote, so his slate's clean with you. So if in the instance, again, I don't know anything that happened, but like if he wants to work with you and you guys want to build something together, you have that bridge, so you're not solely on the outs of your tribe. And I think that they should probably be a little afraid of you now because you have that steal a vote power. So it's like, what is he going to do with it? If we swap, is he going to like go against us? So I don't think you went down on my ranking. I think you're kind of went up a little bit.
Cool. I'll take it.
Oh, I do have a question because I forgot once I watched it, I realized I never asked you this, John. You were at the summit with John V, and John V goes, "Oh yeah, Amir lost his vote," and you go, "Yeah, he didn't even get up to vote." Was that a slip of the tongue or a really good lie?
It was. I really didn't think that Amir voted, but I did think that just saying that he never got up would kind of bolster my argument a little bit. So yeah, it was a bit of embellishment on
because then he went back to camp and he was like, "No, John told me he didn't even get up." Like,
yeah, it was. Yeah. I thought that would sell the story a little bit better. Although I really did think that Amir didn't vote.
He voted so fast in that first tribal. It was phenomenal.
So half lie, half truth.
Gotcha. Okay.
I love when a silly lie just works like that for no reason.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to take off as much as it did on their side.
Oh, it's so funny. Stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
All right, I have no more questions. John, thank you so much for your time, and I
Yeah,
hope
thanks for having me.
continue
Hopefully, I
to
can come back either
game.
next time I get voted out or when I win, whichever one happens.
Hopefully, it's
Yes.
the
All right, appreciate it.
All right, before we head out, John, do you want to say anything to your 5 fans or the 300 YouTube viewers that are watching right now?
No, just keep watching. I mean, it's a really fun season. Both the parts that involve me and the parts that don't. I had so much fun being a part of it, watching everyone else do their thing. I think it's like genuinely like a pretty wild season of Survivor. Gameplay. There's some twists, some turns, some explosive tribals coming up. So just stay tuned, and you'll see more of me and everyone else.
Can't wait.
Oh, that review makes my heart sing. Oh, okay. Sorry.
All truths.
Will, can you give us a little bit of preview of the next episode? What can we expect?
Ooh. The next episode is probably one of my favorite challenges. And it's a gag at Tribal. And that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Well, any shout outs you want to give or anything like that before we head out?
No shout outs. I mean, I'm just really happy season 2 is trucking along. We're like really far ahead. Like we locked cast and me and Bex like took a minute and like took a breath. You know, it's funny that John's here. John helped cast. He helped put pretty much all the challenges together. So John has pretty much moved into an executive producer role for season 2, along with me and Bex. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this. And let me tell you, you thought season 1 was good. Season 2, y'all have no idea what's coming.
Wait and see. That's going to be exciting. All right, everyone. Before we head out, I do want to plug some things. So if you like live reality games, like Stranded or any other of the live reality games out there, please follow LRG_casting on Instagram. You can also follow Live Reality Games on Facebook. If you want to follow me, oh hey, it's Santi on Instagram. I am hosting a one-day Survivor game called Fight for Survival. I will be raising money for the Midwest Charity Trials, which are hosting the LRG called the Legacy Trials in June. My goal is $1,500, and I am almost there. So if you want to play and you're in Texas, please fill out the application. And to everyone, have a good night. Thank you again, Will, for allowing me to host this. It has been fun, and I will talk to you guys soon.
See ya.